Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me. I am thrilled to be here today. I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as possible, but you all know that that's not my specialty. That's not my mat forte, if you will. Week 9 results. 6-8 on the spread, 9-5 on totals, 9-5 on money lines. We lost units on our spread, but if you would have tailed our totals and our money line, you would have made money. So far, we are up 19.27, taking into account all of our plays. We are down on the spread, up a lot on the total and the money line. So having a successful year. 2 announcements for you. Bear with me. I realize this is kind of chaotic and cluttered. I'm also going to raise this up. You raise me up. The first announcement is Saturday. I made a video, and in that very long 31-minute video, I gave you what I thought was an edge. And if you want to know what that edge is, go watch that video. It is hitting at a 65% rate this year, which means that the fair value is around minus 200, roughly. And, you know, I mentioned that where this edge can be found, the odds are much better than that. I also mentioned that this is short-term data, and I didn't have access to long-term data. A loyal listener who wants to go by the name of Heisenberg sent me an email, and he said, hey, I backtracked or back-tested last year, the year before that, and then 2022-2023 season, and here are the results. So what he found was we are ahead of schedule right now this year, hitting roughly 66%, but over the course of a season, it looks like 60% is about fair value. 59 last year, 59 the year prior, 60 the year prior to that. So right now, historically, the fair value is probably about minus 150, and the bottom line of this is in games where it's expected to be dominated by one team, let's say you have like OKC versus Brooklyn Nets, you're going to get a better number than this because it's less likely that Brooklyn does what they need to do. In games where the spread is 1, 2, and 3, the number is probably going to be minus 180, which means that, you know, taking the entire sample size, maybe it's a play, maybe it's not. So if you want to get an accurate representation of what's good here, you would have to go find the pregame odds for either this market or the spread and then work backwards and try to derive what a fair value for this market is based on the spread. We're getting really into the weeds. I think the bottom line is if you like playing this market and you're having fun playing this market and you're okay if you break even in the long term, go ahead. But so far, so good. So we'll leave that there. I just wanted to update you on that to make sure I was not misleading you guys in any way. Also, I am editing a video that could possibly be my most intense video yet. Typically, I press record and I just start going. This video is 15 minutes long, and I've edited about 5 minutes of it. I've probably spent 4 to 5 hours on this, which I think is worth it because I believe I have something to say in here. So this is just about the state of the sports betting world right now from a consumer perspective, and it is a way that I think we can improve for society. So if you want to watch that, I would really appreciate it because of the time it's taking. It's going to be out soon. I don't know if I'll drop it Saturday just so I don't clutter my feed. I don't typically drop videos Saturday, so maybe I'll edit it, have it ready to go for Saturday, so stay tuned for that. Last week, we started some official plays as far as mainline goes, using Picket to track an app that I had kind of neglected in my betting life, and I'm not sure why. Of the official plays, we went 1-3, and we are down 1.3 units. Unfortunately, the Colts, you know, they let us down. Dallas let us down. We did hit Denver as an underdog. So we'll keep it rolling. Again, I'll do official plays in this video as well. I'll link them down in the comments, and I will try to convince you that Picket is a very valuable tool for a sports bettor to use, especially since Picket is free. So I'm not trying to shill you anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything because it doesn't cost anything. I'm going to try to give you the value proposition of Picket. We'll talk about that later. Thursday, tomorrow, we have an AFC West battle, and I'll give credit to the Raiders for the fact that Brock Bowers looked like the entirety of this offense. We know that he is capable of having big games, and I think a lot of the noise was on Ashton Genty being the guy, and he hasn't really been that, even in an offense with Pete Carroll at the head, who likes to run the ball. Just sort of a weird dichotomy we've seen this year from this team. But now that Jacoby Myers is gone, what do these guys do? They throw it to Brock Bowers and they run the ball with Ashton Genty. They have to. There's no other options. So what am I doing? I need the lights on. Come on, what are we up to here, folks? Get the lights back. No broke boys, no new friends. I like that Denver is finding a way to get it done. They don't win convincing, which is why that 8.5 scares me a little bit, but they're finding a way, and a lot of times it's on the back of their defense. So I think this is a low-scoring game. I think the Raiders struggle to move the ball and put up points. I will take the Broncos minus 8.5. I'll take the under. I'll take the Broncos on the money line, but I don't love the spread. I would stay away from it. I'm more confident in the under. Game in Berlin, actually. This one is going to be played Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, across the pond. I'll take the Colts every which way, and I'll take the under. Here's why. Wow. The Falcons can't get out of their way, no matter who it is, no matter who they play. They either blow the team out or they look helpless. And last week, Drake London had the game of his life, 3 TDs, and they still couldn't come away with a victory against the Patriots. I do think the Colts suffered a little bit last week, but they had 6 turnovers. They're not going to have 6 turnovers probably ever again in the history of Daniel Jones' tenure with this team. They also went out yesterday and got Sauce Gardner, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And while he is in concussion protocol, I believe, I have no doubt that he suits up and plays for this one. So I think Drake London has proven to be the guy on the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm excited for this Sauce Gardner Drake London matchup. And I think advantage Colts here. So I like the Colts to get back on track. They only ran the ball 14 times last week. You can't do that when you have Jonathan Taylor, potentially the offensive most valuable player this year. So give me the under in this one in a game that I think the defenses show up for, and I like the Colts both ways. Game in Chicago. If New York wants to win, I think they have to dictate the pace, which means they need to slow the game down. They need to lead with their defense. They need to be methodical. The Chicago Bears are quietly putting up offense. They're quietly scoring points. Outside of the game against Baltimore 2 weeks ago, they have found a way to put high 20s, 30s, and even 47 points last week on the board. Now, it was against the Bengals, which we know is not the best defense. They should have a little bit more of a challenge with the Giants this week, but I don't think New York can or wants to get into a track meet with the Bears. With that being said, if you're backing the Bears in this one, that's fine. I wouldn't really touch the total. If you're backing the Giants in this one or lean Giants in this one, I think you go under for the total. So if you're like, I kind of like Giants, I kind of don't. I don't know if I should play them. If you think the Giants compete in this game, I think a better look is potentially on the under, just the way I see this game going. So while Chicago is finding a groove, and while I do think they win this game, I think New York can keep it close in a low-scoring, tight one. Game in Miami, Josh Allen is 13-2 against Miami. Both of those 2 losses did come in Miami, where he has to travel this week. It was in 2018, which was his rookie year, and 2022. So he has not lost to this team in 3 years, and I don't really see him losing on Sunday. I'll take him 8.5. I'll take him on the money line. I'll take the under. They just traded Jalen Phillips to the Eagles. At one point, I think he was supposed to be a key to this defense. You look at his stats, maybe he's making plays outside of the box score. I don't think he's been that great for this team. We'll see what he does with Philadelphia. Regardless, they wanted a first-round pick for Waddle, which tells me they were okay with trading him. It has to feel weird to be a player who you recognize your team views you as disposable in some way, or at least there's a price that they'll dispose of you for. I get it's a business, and I get the players are used to this, but I just don't see this team coming back ready to play after the trade deadline with all the uncertainty. So I'm staying away from them. Game in Minnesota, I'll give him a golf clap. I'll give J.J. McCarthy, at least for last week, some recognition. He proved me wrong. He played well. They got the win, outright win over Detroit. Could we make an argument that a lot of it was because of their defense? Absolutely. And maybe I should, so it will, defend my reputation about what I think of J.J. But, they got it done with him. So we'll leave it at that. Lamar is back. Obviously, they're on a little bit of a miniature bye week, having played Thursday. Every week for this Ravens team is a must-win game, given the state of this division and how they started the year. I like them to win the game, but at 4.5, it's hard for me to take them on the spread, especially when Baltimore's defense has not shown much. And we know Minnesota's offense has weapons. Now, if they put it all together, that remains to be seen. We haven't seen this offense have that capability or opportunity because of all the injuries they've had. So I'm nervous for this one. I'm staying away from it betting wise, but you get that key number of 3, and people may or may not agree with me about a key number of 4 in football. When a team scores a touchdown, the other team kicks a field goal, 4 becomes a key number because 7 minus 3 is 4. So I call 4 a key number. Experts may not agree. I like that you can get 3 and 4 here with that 4.5 at minus 115. So that's why I lean that. The game in New York, guys, what do either of these teams have to play for? I think the Browns have slightly more to play for than the Jets, who traded away one of their franchise defenders, who were looking to trade away Breece Hall, but couldn't get an agreement that he was worth a 3rd-round pick. I think the Chiefs offered a 4th. They didn't agree. So why go out onto a field knowing that you're in a dysfunctional franchise? Everybody's going to be out there to collect a paycheck, to maybe show that they can get things done and be a valuable asset to another team. It just doesn't feel like a collective group that wants to win. With that being said, they're facing the Browns, who sort of the same thing can be said about, but Dylan Gabriel obviously has a career ahead of him in the NFL. He wants to be good. He wants to at least show people that if he's not going to be the guy for Cleveland, he can be their guy, as we've seen with Joe Flacco and Baker Mayfield, who have left Cleveland and found success. So all that to say, I'm staying off of it, but do what you want with that one. Game in Tampa Bay, I'll take Tampa Bay on the money line as an official play. I think 138 is a fine and fair price. The weakness last week with the Patriots was their secondary, and they looked exploitable. And I don't think you want to look exploitable in the secondary the week before you face Tampa Bay, knowing that they've had a bye week to sit, get ready, watch your game, and realize, if Drake London can have 3 TDs and 100 some odd yards on the road, maybe our guys, our weapons, Ibuka, Tez Johnson, maybe we can find a way to get that done too. Now, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, we know, are not going to play. That's a little bit concerning, but they know that, and I think it's kind of irrelevant because this offense has still been good without them. So I'll take a minus 2.5. I'll take minus 138, and I'll take the over in this one. I think Baker comes ready, gets his guys going. Leadership wins out here. Give me the Buccaneers. Game in Carolina. Let's take a second and recognize what Carolina has been able to do. They beat Green Bay on the road. They dominated Atlanta at home, and they come back home against a divisional rival who has nothing going for them. They tried their rookie quarterback last week. It's a horrible place to go to California against the Rams, one of the better teams in the conference, and make anything work. They lose Rashid Shaheed this week, yesterday, in a trade. You got an offense that's already struggling to put up points, and you trade away your wide receiver 2. Feels odd, and especially when you don't get anything back truly. So at least I don't think Seattle gave him any reasonable, legitimate players. I could be wrong about that. But regardless, give me the Panthers minus 4. Give me them 240. Give me the under. I think they dominate with defense. And an interesting proposal that I have, and what makes me a little nervous, is the schedule. But Carolina is plus 750 right now to win the NFC South, which feels good. Just I'm not comparing it to a sharp book. I'm not devigging this in any way. I'm just thinking about this as an idea that they're one game back from Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay has Buffalo. They could lose this week to the Patriots. If they lose this week to the Patriots and the Panthers win, they're tied in the division. Now, they still have to play each other twice. I just think 750 is a good price. FanDuel has it at 500. I'm not jumping all over that. But at 750 or even 700 on DraftKings, if you got some free bets, I don't think Carolina to win the division is a horrible bet at plus 700. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not necessarily endorsing it. I'm just putting it in front of your face and saying it's an option. Game in Houston. I'm giving an official play out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who proved nothing last week outside of Cam Little's monster leg. 68 yards, broke the NFL record. If you'll remember at the start of the season, I predicted a 70-yard field goal would be hit. Why couldn't they have just moved it back a few? Give Green Beans Go some credit here. It is what it is. I think if you're going to get on the Jets, you do it now, because I don't have a guess if CJ Stroud plays. He's still in concussion protocol. But of course, I have a guess. Everything. It doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be he plays, he doesn't. It can be a spectrum, and I think the spectrum is I lean that he does not suit up. This is an important game. It's a divisional game. It's borderline a must-win game. But I lean that he does not suit up. So if he doesn't suit up, I don't think this line looks like this come Sunday. If we get word that CJ Stroud is going to be out, I believe that Jacksonville probably goes to a 2.5-point favorite. The line moves 4 points in the other way. If CJ Stroud is ruled in, I don't think Jacksonville moves up much. So I see this, and I could be completely wrong, and you'll let me know if I am. And the unfortunate part of being a content creator is you have to say things, and if you're wrong, you got to face the noise. So I'm ready to face the noise. If CJ Stroud plays, I don't see this line moving up 4 points. I don't see the Jaguars all of a sudden becoming 6.5-point underdogs, right? If CJ Stroud doesn't play, I think this line moves down 4 points, and we get Jacksonville at 2.5-point favor. So I think the value, you kind of have a no-risk spot. If CJ Stroud plays, am I happy with Jacksonville at 113? Yes. I think the Jags could beat the Houston Texans, and I'm fine paying 113 even if Stroud plays. But if he doesn't play, it's a bonus, and now we got some major closing line value. That's how I'm thinking about this. Not saying it's right, but these are the things that I process as I'm looking at both teams and numbers. So whatever. Do with that what you will. Seattle, rolling. I think their defense is still underrated. Soon they're going to get the credit they deserve. Their offense is getting the credit. And, of course, we just talked about it. They added Rashid Shaheed. So I believe they'll come out and win this game, but Arizona has a good track record of playing in Seattle, and Brissett is sort of undeniable right now. He was just named the starter. I think this line is correct, but I think Arizona could keep it close and a tight one. So give me Arizona on the spread. I'll take Seattle to find a way to get it done, but I'm not all over Seattle here. I think it's definitely a spot they have to come in ready to play a divisional rival. Both of these teams are kind of on a short week, Sunday night and Monday night. They both played. San Francisco, this team beat the Rams, if you'll remember, 4 weeks ago on prime time. So they get their rematch, do the Rams. I'm staying away from this one. Strength of schedule for the Rams has been a little bit wonky. They haven't played an overly convincing dominant team in the last 4 weeks outside of San Francisco. So hard to gauge. They've dealt with some injuries, kind of a quiet NFC contender right now. I'll take them on the money line, but I'll take San Francisco +4. I think it's a close game. I think it's a low-scoring game. Too many questions, so I'm not going to bet it, but that's where I'd be. Game in Washington, all summer 16. Let me do my best Drake voice. I can't sing, guys. I'm looking for revenge. All summer 16. All summer 8.5. I'll take 8.5. I'm looking for revenge. How do you sing like Drake? I'm looking for revenge. You got to have the auto-tune. You got to have the over 49.5. I'll take them on the money line. They lost last week. Embarrassing game, but Washington's not going to have Jaden Daniels. They don't have a defense. I would say hope is lost, but this division is, Dallas keeps losing and New York keeps losing. So Washington, in a weird way, probably won't win the division because Philadelphia is going to win the division, but there's a somewhat realistic shot at a wild card. So whatever. 2 primetime games, Sunday night and Monday night, and then we'll talk about our official plays, our squad ride. I'll go with the Chargers big. I like them on the money line. I think that the Steelers are being overrated because they beat the Colts last week, but they didn't beat the Colts. The Colts beat themselves. The Steelers needed 6 turnovers to win the game by 1 score. I'm not convinced still that the Steelers are anything. So give me the over, but give me the Chargers in a big way. I think they'll slow the pass rush of the Steelers, which is why they won the game, because the Colts weren't running the ball. The Chargers are going to run the ball. We know that. And then they're going to open up the play action, which is going to set up their weapons in the passing game. I just really like the Chargers on Sunday night at home. And then Green Bay, what do we do, guys? They just lost to Carolina. They've lost to Cleveland. Both of those games, I think, were in Green Bay. The Cleveland one may not have been. What gives with this team? It's a little concerning. So I'm shocked. I'm very shocked that Philly is the favorite or the underdog. I'm very shocked you can get a 121 out there for Philadelphia. Very, very confused. I took it. You may say, they dangled the carrot in front of your face, you horse. You took a bite of it, you idiot. Fine. That's why I bet with money I can afford to lose. But I would kick myself if Monday night comes around 11:30 p.m. and you got the Eagles up 12 with a minute to go. I'm going to say, why didn't I bet 121? I knew it was a good side. Just bet a few bucks on it. No problem with that. Have a little fun. That's what it's all about, guys. So speaking of, guys, if you're going to do any betting, and this is me shilling, and I'm not shilling because Picket is free. Understand, and I'll be quick because I know a lot of you have already signed up. You can get on their app. It looks like this, and it will tell you, you sync all of your books to it. You tell it all the books that you have, and it will tell you where you can get the best price. And you can build parlays here. So if you want to click, 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 it'll tell you where to bet the parlay to get the best price. Here's our squad ride. I like Indy money line. I like Buffalo money line. This is the 7 deadly money lines is what we're calling this. Indy money line, Buffalo money line, Jacksonville money line, Chicago money line, Carolina money line, Detroit, and LA. Some of these, we got some high prices, right? 440, 440. But I got some underdogs sprinkled in, Jacksonville, and that's the only underdog. Right now, my best book available is ProfitX. This is $13.50 on ProfitX. You look at DraftKings down here, it's $12.33. So you're getting value just by line shopping. A lot of recreational bettors, even if you're playing for fun, the best way that you can make money long term or have a better chance or lose less or pay less tax is to line shop. So official plays this week, besides the one I just showed you, which if you want to copy it, I'll drop a link down there, is Philly money line straight for a unit, Chargers money line straight for a unit, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and the under in the Colts game. So if you'd like to tail any of these, you can find me on Picket, and you can simply click on that wager in my wagers. You can find the wagers I'm making. You can click on that, and you can go to copy, and it will bring up all the books that you've synced. So you may have access to, I don't know, Bet Parks. I don't have Bet Parks in my state. They may have a better line on the Chargers money line. Oh, wow, I can get a better price than GMG got, okay? That's that. Wow, I'm rolling today. 20 minutes. Hopefully somebody watched it. I don't know if you guys watch a 30-minute one. Hopefully you can watch this one as well. Smart Stake. We love Smart Stake for the ARBs, at least I do, in the fantasy tool. So if you come in here, guys, if you're looking for any, I mean, this is a crazy one. Holy cow. If you're looking for any positive EV betting, if you don't like the way I handicap, yada, 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 here's one right here. Kevin Looney rebounds. You can take his under on DraftKings. You can take his over on Novig. If you put $100 on his over, you put $97 on his under, and vice versa. You make $12 no matter what happens. So right now they're offering a 5-day free trial and then $1 first week. So essentially a free 12 days. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and get on there. You can do all these custom things. If you want more like educational resources, follow them on Twitter or get in their Discord, which is completely free. And there's all kinds of people who they have making educational content that walks through some of these more nitty-gritty details. So while I am all for betting recreationally and having fun, if you are interested in turning this into more than just a hobby to make money, you got to pay for a tool. Okay, so Code Green gets you a 5-day free trial and $1 first week. Take care, guys. We'll talk touchdowns tomorrow. I got to edit this video now.